guys, back here. I'm gonna redo the Yu-Gi-Oh tutorial just because I find that my first tutorial was like a bit too long, and I want to make things more clear. I'm not gonna give as much detail that I did in my blog, but I'm going to put it as a video response so you guys can check the full version if you don't find this as enough information. And if you want also more info, I'll also again put the PDF booklet of the game in the description area, where you can go and click it. So I'll just start right now to explain the different types of cards that you can have. I've displayed them over here on the game board. The first card over here, this is the yellow. It's more yellowish card. Here, I'll show you closer. That'll be better. So the yellow cards over here is the monster cards. Then you have effect type monster cards that are mostly orange. We have the green one. These are spell cards, kind of like magic cards. You have the pink ones, kind of like Bible Pink, and these are called trap cards. You have the purple cards that are fusion cards, and you have the blue ones that are ritual cards. Just want to mention the purple and the blue cards are also monster cards. Now, how the game works, well, first of all, I'm just going to explain fast how to read a monster card. So you have the name on the top, you have the attribute, you have the number of stars, and this is actually very important to start off, especially for beginners, because you can only place you can only summon monster level of 1 to 4. This is level 4 because it has 4 stars. If you have 5 to 6, you have to attribute 1 card, and if you have if you have 7 to 8 stars, then you have to attribute 2 monsters. They're on your field over here, which I'll explain shortly. Of course, you have a picture, you have a description. Now, for normal monsters, that does not really matter, but any other card that are not normal monster types, you have to read to understand how it works. Then over here on top, you have again, like it's not the attribute, it's like a type, but it works kind of like an attribute. You'll see later on when you start playing the game. And another thing that is important is this is very important. Is attack and defense. If you want to read it, you said this one has 1500 attack points and 1000 defense points. And to learn how to play it, well, once I start explaining the board, right after I'll explain how to place your cards. Now, the point of the game is to eliminate all the points of your opponent. You each have 8,000 points to start with, and yes, there are many ways to win the game. One of them is to eliminating your opponent's points, and I'll explain that after I explain the board. So this is what the board looks like. We have 5 zones of monster cards, 5 zones of spell and trap cards. You have your deck that you'll place over here. You have this is the area of the graveyard area where all your cards that discarded or destroyed go here. You have your fusion cards that will go here instead of going in your regular deck. And any time that you want to place a field card, you'll place it right here. Field cards they look like any spell cards, so they are green. It will be written field, so you won't be confused. I suggest over here you leave open space over here to create out of play cards. Some cards may be forced to be out of play, which are hard to get back, or you can never get it back in play, so they go over here. Now, some ground rules that you have to know about the game is that you have to make a deck of cards like this. You have to choose 40 to 60 cards. You have to also respect the rules. You not choose any card. There's a list of all Forbidden Limited cards, and you have to consult it before. And this can be found in the booklet, or if you just write Forbidden Limited cards, you go on Google and you find information on which cards are not allowed. Also, there's a limit on regular cards that are not on the list. You can only have 3 cards of the same name. You can't have more. So this is how you build your deck, and you'll place it over here. Another rule that you want to know, once the game has started and you want to forfeit, you just put your hand on it like this, leave it on a couple of seconds, which means you're forfeiting. And that's what you do when you give up and you're eating and you're to lose. Building the right deck and winning the game, it's all a strategy. You cannot build the right deck the first time, you'll have to do it many times, and if you're out after making different trials, after different games, you'll realize which cards have to remain and which cards have to leave to make the perfect deck for you. So each person has its own strategy. Yeah, okay, so now I'm going to explain to you how the game works. Once the game starts, you each one have their own deck here for you, or whatever. You guys have your own deck, and at the beginning, you guys play to choose who will start, or you play rock, paper, scissors, or you toss a coin, and the winner gets to decide if they want to start or not, and this could be useful for the people who want to start, because it all depends, how people, what kind of strategy they have, if they like to start or not, so the winner chooses that once the game starts. After that's chosen, you guys pick 5 cards. So, very easy 5 cards. I'm just going to show it to your opponent, like any other card king, and the game will start. The player who starts or picks a card. So now you have a total of 6 cards in your hand. Each time it's your turn, you pick a card. The way the game works, there's 6 phases. You have the draw phase, which when it's your turn, that's the first thing you do. You draw a card. Second thing you do is called the standby phase. Some cards that we mentioned on the description area will say, well, if they are affected by the standby phase. Then you have the main phase 1, which is where you can place your cards. So let's before I go to the next 3 phases, I'll explain the main phase 1 more. Okay, so right now I have so obviously if if I was playing the real game, this card wouldn't have been in my hands right now because it was a fusion card, so it's there. It was just for the example. I chose the same 6 cards as the beginning of the tutorial. You have the yellow card over here, which is a monster, and I have another monster card here. So right now, since I'm the one starting the game, I cannot attack. So basically, the next 2 phases will be skipped, and going to the last phase, which is called end phase. But to avoid, so before we get to the end phase, we're doing main phase 1. So I have the choice of summoning one of these 2 monsters. What I can do is I can place it face up. If I put it face up like this, it means it's in attack position. The attack points are the ones that are affected for this monster right now. If I wanted to put face down, I'll have to put it, if I want to put it in defense position at the beginning, I have to put it face down. I cannot summon a monster like this, unless it's a special summon, which you can read all about it in the booklet. So basically you have 2 ways to start, or you put it face up, or you put it face down. Just a reminder, your monsters over here are the wall against your points. You don't wanna leave with no monsters on the field. That will just give a direct attack to your opponents and you will lose. Doing so, so now I put the monster. I can also choose to put these 2 cards. Now, magic spell cards, I can place them right away above, like face up, and use the effect. Or I can choose to put it face down. Trap cards, I have no choice to put them face down. Again, when you're reading the book, make sure to check these 2 parts. See, there's 2 different symbols. Make sure to read about them to know how to use them. I'm not gonna go into details right now in this tutorial. So, trap cards, you can only place them like this and are only triggered on some occasions. You can check out my previous video. Or the magic spell card, I can use the effect right now, or I can leave it down. And the rules are, each main phase you have, you can only place 1 monster card, face down or face up, and you can place as many trap or spell cards as you want, as long as the spots are still free. Another thing that you have to know, so it's the second phase. Let's say it's my second turn right now, okay? And this is what I did my second turn. Okay? So that means I started, I picked up the card, my opponent had its own match, now it's my turn. Okay, so what I do, draw phase, pick a card, then it's standby phase, then it's main phase 1. I can only, now listen to this, I can only do this once. Once my monster is face down, I have the choice of putting face up in that position. Okay? Now since it's my second turn, I'm allowed to summon another monster. Okay? And my opponent, so now this is my main phase, so again I can also put many other spell cards, whatever I want, like the first that I sent to you. So now I go to my 4th phase, just a battle phase. Battle phase, the way it will work, well, the name says it, battle after battle. So what I do is, first thing is my opponent's card, okay? This one. It's a monster card, and he was able to reveal summon. The attack is 3000, the defense is 2500. So if my card, this one, goes against this one, what would happen? If they're both face up, attack position, this card will win because it has a higher attack. And the way that it works, since I had 8000 points, I deduct the difference from the battle. So that means I'll lose 1500 points, because it's the difference between 3000 and 1500. At the same time, my monster that got attacked, or attacked the wrong monster, let's say, gets destroyed and goes to the graveyard period. For saying that I had a monster in defense position, and my opponent attacks with this card. My defense over here is 1000, this is 3000. When I put it in defense, I do not lose any life points, so defense is defend my points. So what happens is the card still gets destroyed, but my points are unaffected. If it wasn't an attack position, however, it would have been, my life points would have been affected. There's other strategies. People, let's say this was my card, or no, this is still my opponent's card. Let's keep it simple. 2500 defense points. Keep it in defense like this. I have no clue what card that is. I take my monster card and I attack it. So I have 1600 and he has 2500. And if I attack this card, what happens is, first of all, I attack it. So the target attack changes the size. As you can see, it's in horizontal, which means it remains in defense position. Although I attacked it, this doesn't get destroyed because my attack is lower. But what happens is, because I didn't know that, and I attacked it, the difference between his defense points and my attack points get deducted from mine because it was my fault. I didn't know. It's kind of like he tricked me, basically. And I lost 900 points over here. So, like I said, there's many ways to win this game. You can or produce your opponent's points that when they have 8000 reduced to 0. Or there are some special cards. Sorry, there are some special cards that people can have, like special magic monster, any special cards, and it will be written in the description. They will see once you have all these cards, or whatever is written, you win the game. And another thing, a third way to win the game is to force your opponent to have no more cards in their deck area. So it's like this: I'm empty and it's my turn. I cannot pick any more cards. I lose. So these are the 3 ways to win the match. So this was a very short tutorial. I hope you'll understand it better. If you want more help, I have my regular video you guys can check, or not, read the booklet and basically have fun.